You know, sometimes one sentence from a famous person can shock everyone online. And this week, that happened with Johnny Depp. It wasn't during a big interview. It wasn't part of some huge Hollywood speech. It was just a simple line, one that he probably didn't even think would blow up the way it did. But it did. The line was, "It's never too late." And even though those words sound nice and inspiring, people's reactions to them were not simple at all. Fans are celebrating. Others are confused. Some people are suspicious. And of course, the rumors are already spreading faster than ever. People want to know what Johnny meant, why he said it, and what he's really trying to say about his future. And honestly, the moment you hear him speak, you get that feeling that there's something more behind it. Something he's hinting at without fully showing. Something that makes people wonder, is he being completely honest, or is he trying to hide something big? And if you've been following the ups and downs of Johnny's life, his career, the drama, the comebacks, the rumors, well, you're definitely not alone. It feels like every week something new comes up. One minute someone says he's coming back to Hollywood in a big way. The next minute, others promise he's done with the movie business forever. So when this new line came out, it's never too late. Everyone started guessing, questioning, thinking deeply. Because that's what happens when Johnny Depp speaks. Even when he keeps things short, people take it and run with it. But here's what's interesting. This whole reaction isn't just about the line itself. It's about where Johnny is right now in his life, what he's been through, what he might be planning next, and what fans want so badly to believe whether they're right or wrong. So, let's talk about what happened, what it means, and why everyone is asking whether Johnny is telling the truth or hiding the truth. So, during this recent event, Johnny didn't make a big dramatic speech. During this recent event, Johnny didn't make a big dramatic speech. He didn't cry. He didn't sit down for a long interview. He just said almost casually, "It's never too late to rebuild, to return, or to start again." And right away, you could almost hear the internet take a deep breath because Depp doesn't talk that way without people reading between the lines. It's almost like he threw a little spark onto dry grass, and suddenly the entire online world is on fire. Now, on the surface, it really does sound like an inspiring quote. The kind of thing you see on posters or Instagram stories. Something people say when they're trying to lift others up. But when Johnny Depp says it, fans don't take it at face value. They go deeper. They study every word. They connect dots that may or may not even be there. They break it down like it's a mystery. Because Johnny has always spoken in a certain way. Soft, poetic, almost mysterious. It makes people want to find meaning, even when he never explains what he meant. So, let's start with the first theory that blew up online, the comeback rumors. For months, people have been talking about Johnny possibly returning to big roles, big studios, and big movie series. Some fans think his Hollywood comeback is already happening. Others say he's already chosen his next project. And then there are those who believe he's still thinking about it, still moving slowly, still careful after everything he went through. But as soon as he said, "It's never too late," people immediately connected it to his career. They thought he was teasing something, hinting, signaling, maybe even confirming, because that's how badly fans want answers. They want to know what's next for him, and they want to know now. But here's something people forget. Johnny is not just a Hollywood figure. He's also a human being who has gone through more crazy stuff in the last few years than most people go through in a lifetime. Legal battles, public pressure, health rumors, media storms, endless guessing. And behind all of that, he's just trying to breathe again. So when he talks about rebuilding or starting again, maybe he's not talking about movies at all. Maybe he's talking about himself, about his peace, about his personal life, his family, his friendships, his healing. Maybe the message wasn't for Hollywood, but for him. A close friend of his even mentioned recently that Johnny has been quietly rebuilding for a long time, that he's been stepping back, thinking deeply, pulling himself out of the noise. And when you hear that, you start to look at this confession differently. Maybe it's never too late. It wasn't about returning to the spotlight. Maybe it was about finding happiness again, rebuilding trust, rebuilding confidence, rebuilding the pieces of himself that were shaken. But of course, Fans also want answers about the rumors, and there have been plenty. Let's clear some of them up, because not everything you see online is true. First, no, Johnny hasn't announced he's retiring forever. There's no proof of that. He didn't say he's quitting acting forever. He didn't say he's saying no to all movie offers. Second, no, there's no evidence he's fighting some secret sickness. Those weird rumors always pop up, and they're almost always false. Third, he's not banned from Hollywood. Some people love spreading that rumor, but it's simply not the truth. The reality is much simpler. He's being picky. He's choosing his projects slowly. He's taking time to decide what truly fits him. He's not rushing back just because fans or studios want him to. And that's actually a sign of growth, not fear. But when you speak in a short emotional sentence like, "It's never too late," people start looking for clues. Fans think he might be hinting at something big. Maybe a new film. Maybe working again with an old director. Maybe a secret project. Maybe a music album. Maybe even a return to a certain movie series people can't stop hoping for. It's human nature. People want to be sure. They want excitement. They want to feel like they're part of something happening. At the same time, some people think he's avoiding the real question. Is he truly ready to return to the full pressure of the spotlight? Or is he still trying to figure out where he belongs now? And that's the messy, complicated part of all this. Because no matter what he says, people will hear what they want to hear. Some will hear hope, some will hear confusion, some will hear hesitation, and some will hear a secret message. But here's where things get really interesting, because if you talk to people in the movie business, they say something very different from the rumors online. Insiders claim Johnny is actually getting more offers now than before, not just from Hollywood, from European filmmakers, from streaming services, from directors who have wanted to work with him for years, from producers who believe his comeback story would be huge. People inside the industry are saying things like, "Johnny doesn't need Hollywood. Hollywood needs Johnny." And honestly, it's true. There are very few actors who have the presence, the mystery, and the fan loyalty that Johnny has. And studios know that. On top of that, people close to him say he's been pouring his heart into music lately, writing, recording, spending time with bandmates, focusing on what makes him feel alive. And maybe that's the real message behind what he said. Maybe It's Never Too Late is about bringing back old passions, reconnecting with creativity, returning to the parts of himself he put on hold. But there's one more thing people keep talking about. Apparently, there's a major interview being set up. Something big, something honest, something that might finally show where his life and his career are headed next. It's supposed to be emotional, deep, full of truth. And fans believe this confession might be the warm-up, the first little spark before he finally opens a door and tells the world what's really going on. So, when fans ask if Johnny is lying about his future, it's not because they think he wants to trick anyone. It's because they feel like he's protecting something, holding back. Maybe because it's personal. Maybe because it's not decided yet. Maybe because he doesn't want expectations to control him again. He's been hurt by that before, and he's more careful now. At the end of the day, Johnny's confession doesn't give us the full story. It opens a window, but only a little bit. It gives us enough to wonder, enough to hope, and enough to start guessing, but not enough to fully understand. And maybe that's exactly how he wants it. Maybe he wants to take one step at a time, without the world jumping ahead of him. So now comes the part where you think about it. What do you believe Johnny meant by "it's never too late"? Was he talking about Hollywood, music, his personal life, a new beginning, or something deeper that only he truly understands? Everyone has their own theory. Everyone has their own wish. And honestly, every theory could be right in its own way. If you think about everything he's been through, every rise, every fall, every rumor, every comeback, it makes sense that he would choose such a simple but powerful line. Life has pulled him in so many directions, some beautiful, some painful. And maybe now he's finally learning that he gets to choose his own path again. No pressure, no noise, no chaos, just his own timing. So maybe his message is really this. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It doesn't matter how hard things got. It doesn't matter who doubted him. He is still capable of rebuilding, still capable of creating, still capable of surprising the world. And he's reminding himself and maybe all of us that it truly is never too late to start again. So tell me, what do you think he meant? Do you feel like something big is coming? Do you think he's preparing us for a huge announcement? Or do you think he's simply speaking from the heart at a moment where he finally feels a sense of peace? Whatever you think, share it in the comments. I always love hearing your theories. And if you want more updates, more stories, and more deep dives into Johnny's journey, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and check out the next video where we talk about his emotional return to Japan that took everyone by surprise. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next one.